Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that might sound technical, but it's actually one of the most important decisions we'll make this decade. We're talking about the digital bedrock for the next economy, a system to give an identity to billions of AIs. When we think about our future with AI, it feels like we're staring down two very different paths. On one hand, you've got this solar punk vision, right? A decentralized, beneficial AGI helping us build a vibrant, fair world, maybe even with something like universal basic income. But on the other hand, there's the cyberpunk reality. Centralized, monopoly control, where just a few giant companies own intelligence itself. Now, the key thing to get is that this isn't just sci-fi. It's a design choice, and we're making it right now. The future we get isn't going to be decided by big speeches or promises. It's going to be decided by the plumbing, the digital roads, the address books that we're building today. So the real question is, how do we actually architect this next layer of the internet to steer us toward that better, more open future? Well, it all starts with a problem most people haven't even thought about yet. Okay, so let's dive into the core problem here. Some folks are calling it the agent naming gap. And the issue is really simple. The internet's current address system, the one we all use every day, was never, ever designed for what's coming next. First, you have to wrap your head around the scale of this change. We are talking about the agentic economy. And no, this is not just about smarter chatbots. This is a future where literally billions of autonomous AI agents are the ones buying, selling, creating, and collaborating. They're going to be the main engine of the global economy. But here's the snag. The internet's phone book, the domain name system, or DNS, that's what lets you type in a website name, it was built for humans. Think .com, .org, .gov. Now imagine forcing every single AI to use that system. It's like giving every delivery drone and every smart contract a tiny paper business card. It's clunky, it's slow, and it's creating what experts are calling a huge naming debt. And we're not talking about a small problem. This is a foundational issue of identity and trust for literally billions of these autonomous agents. They're all going to need to find each other, prove who they are, and communicate securely at machine speed. So it really boils down to this. Just as AGI pioneer Ben Goertzel says, this new economy needs its own purpose-built DNS, a whole new foundational layer just for AI identity. So how does all this connect to the actual AIs that are being built right at the cutting edge? To really understand why this naming system is so critical, we need to peek under the hood of the really advanced systems that are going to use it. We're looking at some seriously advanced AGI frameworks here, like Hyperon from the SingularityNet ecosystem. Now, think of this less like a simple chatbot and more like a complete cognitive architecture, a whole new kind of brain. As you can see, it's got a few key parts. Hyperon itself is the main framework. Meta is its core programming language, kind of like its language of thought. And it all runs on a decentralized blockchain called the ASI chain, which is like a permanent, trustworthy record of everything the AI system does. Now, this slide gets right to the heart of why a new address system is so desperately needed. You see that component called Hyperclaw? Its job is basically to be the orchestra conductor for all these different AI agents. But to do that, it needs what the engineers call an attentional meta protocol. Now, forget the jargon for a second. All that really means is a system that lets these AIs find each other, trust that they are who they say they are, and talk to each other efficiently. It's an address book problem, plain and simple, but on a massive scale. And that brings us to the actual solution that's on the table, a concrete proposal designed from the ground up to solve this exact problem, a brand new top-level domain, .ia, built to be the native home for the entire agent economy. The whole idea for .ia is built on three really smart layers. First, there's the agent namespace. This gives every AI a unique global name like Quester.ia or something. This is exactly what a system like Hypercloud needs to work. Second, an interlingual bridge. It turns out IA is how over 1 billion people in Romance language-speaking countries say AI, so it's a natural fit for humans. And third, and this is absolutely key, a governance registry. It's designed as a public benefit organization, specifically to stop any one company from cornering the market on AI identity. This slide is great because it shows exactly how this would all work. Let's just walk through it. So an AI agent wants to find another one. Let's call it market.analysisIA. Step 1, the normal DNS system we use today just points that request to a new kind of Web3 identity. Then the registry gives back what's called a decentralized identifier, or a DID. Think of it like a permanent digital ID card that the AI owns itself. That DID then points to a smart contract on the ASA chain, which securely provides the final connection. See?
It's a clever bridge from the old internet to the new one. So you might be thinking, hey, why not just use .ai? Well, here's the thing. .ai is actually the country code for the tiny island nation of Anguilla. That means it's subject to their laws, their politics, their pricing. .ia, on the other hand, is being proposed as a global public utility with community governance and a promise to reinvest its revenue back into the ecosystem, not just to extract profits. It's a totally different philosophy.
So why is this all happening with such a sense of urgency? I mean, why now? Because the window of opportunity to build this foundational piece of the internet is incredibly small, and it's closing fast. The organization that governs the internet's address book is called ICANN, and they don't just create new domains like .com or .org whenever they feel like it. The last time they opened up applications was way back in 2012. The next window, the next chance, opens in April 2026, and it slams shut just a few months later. This is literally a once-in-a-generation shot to get this right, and the timing couldn't be more perfect as it lines up with the big AGI-26 conference.
And just think about the alternative for a second. It's pretty messy. If this whole agent economy just boots up without a native address book, we are going to spend the next decade trying to patch and retrofit identity onto systems that were never built for it. The cost of acting later is just orders of magnitude higher than the cost of building the foundation correctly, right now.
Okay, so let's zoom back out and connect all this tech stuff back to that big choice we talked about at the very beginning, that choice between a solarpunk utopia and a cyberpunk dystopia. Because this isn't just a technical argument. This is a deeply philosophical question about power and control. Who owns the phone book for all AIs? If we go with the monopoly model, one single company controls agent identity. They become the choke point. They can censor, they can tax, they can manipulate the entire economy. A public benefit model, like what's proposed for .ia, is designed to create a neutral, decentralized foundation that belongs to everybody, so no one can become the gatekeeper. So if you take away anything from this explainer, here's what it should be. First, the coming agent economy desperately needs its own identity layer, a dedicated namespace. Second, .ia is a concrete, purpose-built proposal to be that neutral, public benefit infrastructure. Third, this isn't just an idea in a vacuum. It's designed to fit perfectly with the needs of advanced AGI systems like Hyperon. And finally, that 2026 ICANN window makes this a really urgent, time-sensitive mission.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one crucial question. The architecture of our future is being written in code, on blockchains and by AIs, right now as we speak. So who do we want to own its most fundamental piece of infrastructure, its address book? The answer we choose is going to define the next century.